Good evening, folks. How's it going tonight? What's happening tonight?
Please do like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. The flashlight is probably the biggest item besides the ransom note itself, indicative of misdirection.
For on YouTube.
Now, due to the messy kitchen area, I think it's easy to assume that the flashlight with pineapple inside, which is Burke and Patsy's fingerprints on it, the flashlight has 0 fingerprints on it. This alone suggests intrigue surrounds the flashlight, but as it turns out, there's more to it than meets the eye. Now let's go through 5 reasons why the flashlight is misdirection. Number 1, in common with the ransom note, the flashlight had 0 fingerprints on it. Even the batteries inside had no fingerprints. An investigator believed the outside of the flashlight as well as the batteries inside had been wiped down. Number 2, the Ramseys initially claimed to recognize the flashlight, but then later claimed that it didn't belong to them. In Paula Woodward's Apologia, she associates the black Maglite flashlight with those carried by police officers, similar to the dismissal of the high-tech boot print in the dust beside the wine cellar, where that boot print was also associated with that of police officers.
No.
Number 3, the drawer in which John Ramsey's flashlight was usually kept was open, with no flashlight inside. Situation. In other words, the Ramseys not only denied the flashlight in the kitchen was theirs, but indirectly seemed to suggest that the flashlight they did have was taken.
I watched it.
Number 4, the flashlight is the most obviously out of place item in the kitchen.
I don't believe a
besides
word
the pillow.
The 2 men said.
And number 5, due to all the above issues, the flashlight is assumed by many to be the murder weapon, and that was the point, wasn't it? To create that very impression.
The family, not
now let's examine the 7 references to the word flashlight from Patsy's first interview with law enforcement in April 1997.
I don't think
there were no references in John's first interview. Steve Thomas says the following. Patsy, to the best of your memory, how many flashlights did your family own or keep in the house on 15th Street? Patsy Ramsey.
I don't believe that.
Now, first of all, if you were asked that question, could you answer?
I know I could.
And could you say where you keep your flashlight? I know I could. If you were presented with this image, would you know instantly whether it was yours or not? I know I could. So consider this possible scenario. The Ramseys knowing exactly where that flashlight comes from and whose it is, but being, quote-unquote, unsure about it.
Anything like that.
And as a result, it becomes an object of suspicion.
I find it hard to believe. To me, they're obviously doing it for the money.
Steve Thomas goes on to ask, do you? And Patsy interrupts him. Says, Burke had some round ones, Steve Thomas. Did John, as a pilot or for the cars in the garage or the house, did he?
They waited until he died. Then they came out.
Patsy Ramsey responds,
I
think we had kind of a big one. I don't know where it was. I think John Andrew gave it to John for, I don't know whether he gave it to him for the plane or not. I know he keeps one on the plane, I think.
Basically, the whole of their
now, notice how Patsy self-interrupts after the word for.
She said herself that
she could be meaning to say for Christmas or for a particular use.
Michael Jackson, they've got them together.
Steve Thomas says, can you describe that for me? What colour it was, for example?
And some of the things that they're saying, and this is when it take place, all
Steve
this
Thomas,
sexual abuse.
I think it was in that drawer, that little...
That's Netherlands half the time.
I think in that drawer.
He was on tour.
Now, there are a lot of problems here, besides Patsy contradicting herself, and also besides Patsy failing to identify the color when asked directly.
getting abused.
And I don't like Detective Steve Thomas offering Patsy scenarios for why there might be a flashlight. But as it happens, she seems to know John has a flashlight in his plane, but not in her own home. Well, certainly initially. Then Detective Steve Thomas says, maybe in this room somewhere in this vicinity, Patsy. Yeah, and I think it was like a big black.
But I think a lot of them are, an awful lot of them are coming into
the detective asked
realization that
about the flashlight.
Just
lying. And obviously, Patsy may assume that he doesn't know.
Just lying.
And obviously, at this point, when he says, maybe it was in this vicinity, you can imagine that Patsy thinks that maybe he didn't know. Anyway, Steve Thomas says, well, is this picture, and that's not a good photo, would that be representative of the flashlight that you are describing? Now, faced with a picture, Patsy responds, yeah, probably. I'm afraid I don't know what this is.
Not a Michael Jackson. Well, he's like it.
Now, it's not clear what Patsy doesn't recognize. Does she not recognize the kitchen? Does she not recognize the flashlight? Does she not recognize where it is in her home? But it could well be that she's being shown many of the images you're seeing right now. And her response is, well, curious. She says, I'm afraid I don't know what this is.
Other things, anyway.
Could a response be calculated to make law enforcement want to pay more attention to the flashlight? Because it's interesting. It's a flashlight in the kitchen, and yet Patsy doesn't bring it up herself.
Obviously.
Also, the flashlight is standing up. It's sort of erect. It's not just sort of lying down on the ground. It's almost like saying, hey, look over here.
And
if it didn't belong to them, why not be explicit about it? Steve Thomas goes on to say, and for the purpose of the tape, I'm showing a photograph. I'm showing Patsy a photograph depicting is at the kitchen table.
The film was
and his colleague says,
a few years
kitchen
ago,
counter. Steve Thomas says, kitchen counter with several items, but including what appears to be a flashlight on it.
In Wonderland.
Patsy Ramsey says, yeah, it appears to be. I remember he gave him a big flashlight at one time, but I don't remember. Now, do you see that? I remember, but I don't remember. I don't know where it was, but I know where it was. Steve Thomas's colleague says, is it plastic material it's made out of? Patsy says, it seemed like it was heavy. I don't know. Okay. Patsy says, John would remember. Now, it's interesting how when the flashlight is brought up, Patsy refers to John Andrew, and Burke. If Patsy Ramsey wrote the ransom note in the wee hours of the day after Christmas, might she not have used a flashlight? Might she have written the note on the kitchen counter? Because neighbors said the lights were off throughout the night. So how would you write a 3-page ransom note with the lights out? So Steve Thomas's colleague goes on to say, okay, next, let me do this for the secretary. When you were talking about the drawer that the flashlight was normally kept in, refer back to that other picture, the drawer by the sink. Patsy responds, yeah. Steve Thomas's colleague says, bottom of the staircase. That's a reference to the spiral staircase. Patsy says, yeah. The officer goes on to say, the drawer to the left of, and then that part's inaudible. Now, interestingly, when Patsy's asked about a far more obscure item, we're not going to deal with it here, but when she's asked about the binoculars, it's far more obscure than a flashlight. She knows exactly where they are. But now let's deal with John's second interview. There are over 20 instances where flashlight is mentioned in his interview. It's from John's second interview, June 23rd, 1998. Lou Smith says, okay, did you use a flashlight at that point? John Ramsey, no. Smith, what kind of flashlight do you have? John Ramsey. Well, we've got several, I guess. One that I believe came up as an item was this Maglite flashlight. If it's the one I think it is, my son gave me that for a Christmas present a year or two ago. And that was probably in the bar. The bar drawer was typically where it was kept. Now, the first part of this answer is exactly the way you'd expect the answer to be answered. We have a few flashlights. but the one I guess you're referring to is X, Y, and Z, and A gave it to me. But the second part is that the flashlight was supposed to be in the drawer in the bar area. Anyway, Lou Schmidt continues. He says, "You don't remember getting that, John Ramsey?" Meaning, you don't remember retrieving the flashlight that night. John Ramsey says, "No, I know I did not get it." Lou Schmidt, "Anyone else get it?" John Ramsey, "Not that I recall. I don't even know it worked. Typically, our flashlights didn't work because we needed new batteries. We might have a few blown flashlights around." So it's quite interesting how he reinforces the idea that not only did he not get it, but no one else got it. Why? Because it didn't work. So if it was the Ramsey flashlight and it didn't work, why was it out there? If it did work, why was it out there? Now, do you see John is suggesting either that it wasn't his flashlight, or if it was, because he says, if it's the one I think it is, then someone else removed it from the drawer, but none of them. This raises an additional question. If an intruder didn't kill John Bonet, or even if one did the Ramseys know John Bonet had received a blow to the head? And if they knew the flashlight was the murder weapon, why not simply leave it in the drawer or put it in the drawer? Now let's deal with a third and final interview reviewing Pat's second statement to law enforcement. This is from June 23rd, 1998. Detective Tom Haney asks, "Okay, the next group of photos, and these are not numbered." Patsy Ramsey says, "Uh-huh." Haney, "But they show a flashlight." Patsy Ramsey, "Uh-huh." Haney, "A black metal string light type." Patsy Ramsey, "Uh-huh." Flashlight, "Do you recognize that?" Patsy says, "It looks similar to the one that John Andrew gave John for Christmas, birthday or something." Haney, "Okay, do you recall when it was that he gave it to him?" Or Patsy, "Not exactly. Although it looks kind of dirty there. I mean, if I remember." Haney, "It looks different." Patsy, "Yeah." Then another detective says, "Okay, describe how it looks different." Patsy says, "Well, the one that I remember John having was pretty slick black, and that kind of looks smudgy or gray or something." "Well, why does it look like that?" "Because it was dusted for prints." Patsy can have an eye for detail when she wants to. Detective Haney's colleague explains, saying, "Okay, that's been processed, so it has been changed." Patsy, "Oh, okay." Law enforcement, "Other than that, do you notice any differences from Patsy Ramsey?" "Uh-huh," meaning yes. Law enforcement, "That's similar to the one that John Andrew gave John." Patsy Ramsey, "Yeah, uh-huh," meaning yes. Law enforcement, "And I think last time when you were here on last April." Patsy, "Uh-huh." Law enforcement, "You said where that was stored." Patsy, "Uh-huh, yes." Law enforcement, "And I wanted to clarify that a little bit. Do you remember where it was stored?" Patsy, "Well, the best I recall is it was in like one of those junk."
This man, Pat Tate, is some character. No wonder he got shot. He was an absolute lunatic. But anyway,
No one else deserves that award more than you have because the love for you in the country is overwhelming.
there you go.
One of your lovely juices that the shows get, so one of your big stories you want.
and said about Anthony. She said to her, she went,
What's going
"He
on?
really is a borderline national treasure." Curious about that. Borderline national treasure.
You are a national treasure. Catherine said it. We all know it. You are a national treasure. And the thing is, you've not always had the most naturally talented partners. Let's be honest.
I realised yesterday when you started to ask me, you almost asked me like, about 10 minutes. Two things. One is to talk about me, and two, I'm going to have to be myself because we had the microphone on for the whole time. The camera's there all the time. I thought, well, I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to try and be something suave and I'm going to be Fred Astaire marvellous because it's going to slip and I'm going to look idiotic. So just be myself and if it works, it gets it. Fine, if it doesn't. That was always how it was for me. So I never minded who I get on. And if I got somebody who could laugh, I thought, I did it. It's not fun with Fred on it. And if it doesn't, so that's the fun. You know, that's the part of it.
Be honest though, you didn't get to win the World Championship in your professional dancing. You've never lifted the glitter ball. It was strictly just that. Do you mind?
No.
Why?
Really, really top quality. Because I hate to be an opportunity. You're on the street side, dominating about everything else. And so please, that time, you're really happy. And you're not. Because you're not. I really, I always have to be obvious doing that. Also, it's amazing. So, you know, so, it's what we were talking about earlier as well. You know, you want people to have the best life that they can have. What's the growth time? Really. And, well, and I hope
You've been dancing for 18 years.
Oh,
Long time before.
Reverse visible sign for skin damage. If only this is easy.
That there was something that maybe you were missing that you got to do. Other big changes. Apart from the new hair, there are other new things to go. Hi, Daddy. And we like your dancing a lot.
Aye.